Good evening. Welcome to this regular scheduled business meeting of the Summersville City Council this 22nd day of July 2024. I'd like to welcome all of our guests and move right into tonight's agenda. The first item on the agenda is consideration of the council minutes of the meeting we held July 8th of 2024.
Move to approve and waive the reading.
Second.
Okay, council, we have a motion that was to approve and waive the reading. Are there any changes or amendments to those minutes as they were presented in your packet? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion so carries. The next item on the agenda is public comment. No public comment. Moving right along. Okay, council, the next item is approval of a Webb Law Firm agreement, pharmacy benefit managers. It was very time sensitive. We didn't have time, and I didn't feel that we needed to call a special meeting just to authorize me to sign this, so I signed it. And now I'm getting your authorization for me to have signed it. This is just another class action litigation. We have done several of these with the Webb Law Firm. It would be routine as we've done everything with the opioid litigation. So I did sign this document on the 12th of July. And so what I'm asking is for your approval that I sign the document on the 12th of July.
Move to approve.
Got a first?
Second.
And a second. Is there any questions? Okay, it's another class action that, of course, as we have trudged the waters of all this opioid litigation, we fared well with the Webb Law Firm, so we'll be in it for the pharmacy benefit managers. We have a first and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion so carries. And I did meant to mention that we do have Councilman Waters attending via phone tonight. He's on the back end of his COVID diagnosis. So Brandon, we wish you well and hope everything's going good for you.
Thanks, Claire.
The other thing, the next item on the agenda would be approval of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers supplemental agreement on the city trail that we have down at Muddledy, on Muddledy Creek. Council, this is merely, we had to amend the agreement because the previous agreement took the trail all the way back to property that we have since sold, the Jones Hole property. So all this is an update to that agreement with the map that finishes at the back end that shows you that now is the official property that we have in the agreement with the Army Corps of Engineers. So I need your authorization to sign this.
Second.
Okay, so that is to assign the amended agreement that amends the trail, the actual trail. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Is that the old trail, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is the trail that we've always had.
Right.
Yeah, and all it did is took off the other end of it where we used to go all the way down to Jones Hole. Okay. Did we vote?
Get a first and second.
Okay, we have to vote. Okay. Got a first and a second. Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion so carries. Okay, council, tonight we were supposed to have on the agenda the second and final reading. We're supposed to have a public hearing at 6. And then the second and final reading of our bond ordinance for the recreational complex. But unfortunately, our attorney sent the required advertising to the Chronicle, and something was messed up with the email that he had for the Chronicle and kicked back to him. So he realized just minutes before we were publishing the agenda that it was not published in the Chronicle. So anyway, we'll meet the requirements for our next meeting. He's since worked out whatever the snag was with his email to the Chronicle. The advertising will be put in the paper for the public hearing, so therefore it'll be on our next agenda. He has assured me that that should not delay anything in the schedule that we had set forth in. Now going to construction to get the bids out for construction, and then of course the bids out for the financing. So at our next meeting will be our next meeting, and let me say that meeting. Our next meeting, August 12th, will be a public hearing at 6, and then the final reading of the ordinance following the public hearing. Also that very night at 5 p.m., the Summersville Building Commission will have their public hearing and then a meeting with their final reading, so that therefore when we're done, we'll be ready to go to construction bid. Okay, with that said, recorder's report.
Just a quick reminder, Robert, looking for a really good meeting next Monday, July 29th, Planning and Zoning. That'll be at 6 o'clock right here. Mayor, I invite everybody to come up and attend. And if there's something commission or the council here that you would like added to that meeting, let me know before Wednesday. Wednesday we do our agenda, so just let me know at that point. Should be a good one. We're going to discuss the airport and the adding of the airport over to the help me out, the comprehensive plan. Thank you, comprehensive plan. And there's several other ordinances that I've looked at and can't wait to bring to the attention of the planning and zoning to just adjust a little and take a peek at those. We're certainly doing business and certainly doing things a lot different than we were in the 60s and 70s. So I look forward to throwing those out to the council, and look forward to that. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, mayor's report. Council, I just have a list of some stuff I'd like to update you on. First of all, I always try to keep you informed. As we closed out the last fiscal year at the end of June, I'm glad to report that in our claims money market, which is our self-insured fund that we maintain here at the city, because in our self-insured fund of health insurance, we cover the first $35 of all expenses of our employees. The first $35,000 is we self-insure, and then of course we pick up insurance coverage that goes anything above with any employee above $35,000. Several years ago, and I mean several years ago, probably 5 or 6 years ago, we actually had an actuarial study done on our risk pool, and at that time they told us we should maintain between $350,000 and $400,000 in our account. In a very conservative way, it's always been above that. As a matter of fact, I've had a goal that every year I would like to finish to where we could maintain at least $700,000 in that account, which is way above actuarially what they tell us we need to. So I'm glad to report, and what we do is we sometimes fund it at 70%, 80%, and then at the end of the year we always have to fund it to whatever it takes us to get to that amount, which brings it somewhere close to 100% that we dump in it to bring it back to the number that I think is a good, secure number going forward every year. So at the end of June, in our last fiscal year, we had $700,416.70 in our self-insurance fund. So going forward, we are in good hands from the standpoint of the ability to be able to pay our employees' claims. The next thing I'd like to do is announce that this is a notice to residents and businesses of the city of Summersville, or anybody that's on the Summersville Waterworks system. We're going to begin our fall flushing August 19th through September 13th, weather permitting. We say to please use extreme caution when cooking and doing laundry during this period, as you may experience some discoloration in the water. It does not make the water unsafe. It's just when you stir the pipes up like the flushing does, and that's kind of technically why you do it, sometimes people can experience discoloration in water. If you have any questions, we encourage you to call the water plant at 872-3347, or you can call right here at City Hall, 872-1211. Flushing happens between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. And again, that's August 19th through September 13th. Flushing of the water system, Summersville water system. Okay, this is a big week for the Nicholas County Fair. We always like to plug what we can to support others in the county, so I encourage everybody to take part in the Nicholas County Fair. I want to thank all of you that responded to our request to participate this year with the fair. And so everybody's got their schedule. I think Mary Ann kicked it out to you. But they've got a lot happening. I got to tell you, I'm extremely proud of the fair board and the leadership out there and the work they've done to make the fair definitely worth visiting. So I encourage everybody to partake. The fair opens on Wednesday, Kids Night, and runs all the way through Saturday. They've got nightly entertainment, all kinds of activities every night. So please think about supporting and visiting the 99th Annual Nicholas County Fair. In lieu of the fair, we do not have Downtown Pavilion Music this week. We always respect their big event by not trying to have an event that counters theirs. So we do not have Pavilion Music this Friday, but we'll be back next Friday, August 2nd, with Aaron Bean and the Do-Gooders. And of course, in partnership, refreshments that night will be provided by New River Community and Technical College. And then we wind down our Pavilion Music series the following Friday, August 9th, with the Reunion Band. And of course, refreshments that night in partnership will be the Rotary Club of Summersville. So we got 2 weeks left. We've had some great entertainment this summer. It's just been, all except for one night where we had to cancel due to weather. We've just really had a good run at it, had some super good talent and entertainment. I encourage you, if you haven't been able to come out and partake in the city downtown Pavilion Music, we've got 2 great shows left, August 2nd and August 9th. Bring your lawn chair and come and join us. I also want to highlight, we got a whole slew of thank yous from the 4-H Council. You have supported many programs through the 4-H with council grants. We've also done some side partnership with them in the city. Very excited. Wayne and Donna, myself and my wife, were able to attend their appreciation banquet that was held on the 26th of June, and they're just so appreciative. And when you think about activities for kids, it was just good to see the kids, and they always put on a small program and show us some of their leadership things and traits that they learn through 4-H camps. So again, very exciting night. The kids and the 4-H leaders were very appreciative of the city of Summersville and our support. Also, we've got Correspondence Council. We pass it down both ways, but I like to say that we did get a thank you for your council contribution in your grant process, again, from the Christmas store. We all know what good that does. And then, of course, we always support, the city does, the West Virginia Quilters. As economic times and things happen, as they are everywhere, we're hoping that they're going to come back next year, but there's a possibility that they might be looking for a different venue for different reasons. So anyway, don't know for sure, but we certainly are going to open our arms and welcome them back. We're proud to be the home of the West Virginia Quilters Association, but here's a thank you for them as well, and all the support from the city of Summersville. The last thing I want to say is, at the last meeting, the city of Summersville, this body right here, went into executive session, and we came out with an approval for me to enter a property purchase agreement. So I have, and because I have, and we are secure now with the property purchase agreement, I would like to give the details of that property purchase agreement. Council, you authorized me to enter into, and I did, on July 12th, a property purchase agreement for 9.4 acres that sits next to Nicholas County High School. The property is owned by Marilyn Marsh and her brother Kermit Gross. We intend to make this property the future home of our visitor center. So I can tell you that as we speak, our environmental requirement work is being done on the property, along with a survey. And as the agreement calls, it was signed July 12th, calls for a 30-day closing. I can tell you that everything's on track for that 30-day closing. So as soon as that closing happens, we'll be full force with the funding that we already have secured to build the visitor center. There's a lot of work to be done there, as there is for the rec park. So we're going to have 2 major big projects going on simultaneously. But exciting things for us in the city and our community, our visiting community. Of course, this visitor center is going to be built with the sole mind of supporting our economic base, which is tourism. So a lot of work to be done, and just certainly looking forward to what that's going to do for this area. That concludes the mayor's reports. Any council reports? You want to say something about the dinner, the success of the dinner?
I wasn't there.
Oh, that's right. Jeez, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Hey, listen, no, not last Friday, but the Friday before, Brown Oaks put off a wonderful, wonderful deal. They did it using the chef from the Arena and Conference Center, along with the ProStar program, under the leadership of Bill Anderson and the board. It was a wonderful evening, a great meal. Gary, you attended. It just really was. It was a great time. I'm trying to think, I was going to spin it to Wayne to say something about it. I didn't even realize, because actually what I did is I flew in, was there for appetizers, sit down for the meal, had a wonderful meal, and then I flew out because I had to get downtown to be with the Goldwing Association because I had activities that I had committed to doing with them. So anyway, it was a wonderful evening, and again, hats off to Brown Oaks, their director, assistant director, and board of directors for the great things they do. So I just wanted to give them a little plug and thank you, because it, just another wonderful attribute to the many amenities that you can come to our community and do. So, any other council reports? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Got a first and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion so carries.